scotch and water?
Scotch and water, please. This must be awful for you. Any idea where he could be?
No, none whatever.
Had he been sick or anything?
No, Mr. Stewart, he hadn't been sick.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank
Shall we go over there, a little less crowded? Just one thing I'd like to get clear, Mrs. Pearson. Did your husband take anything with him?
Take anything?
No, pack a bag.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Excuse me, Joan, I forgot to ask. Why not have dinner with us tomorrow night to keep your mind off things?
Well, that's very nice of you, Milos, but I'm afraid I can't manage it.
Oh.
Oh, this is Mr. Caldo, Mr. Stewart.
How do you do?
Mr. Caldo is a friend of the British community.
Ah, you're new here. Have you been to Prague before?
I've never had that pleasure.
Wonderful. Paris has nothing on Prague, Mr. Stewart, for gaiety, for beauty.
Joan, darling, there you are.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Will you excuse me?
Certainly.
Charming woman. Such a pity about Desmond having this awful reputation.
Huh?
I mean, about the women. There's nothing to it, really, but you've lived your life in embassies. You know how catty these people can be.
You were acquainted with him, were you?
I like to think of the Pearsons as my good friends.
What do you think happened? You see, I've been landed with this one. I've got to find him. The penalty of being the new boy, I suppose. All the dull jobs.
Oh, don't worry. If I know Desmond, he'll turn up again in a few days. He's disappeared before. I wonder sometimes if there isn't more to Desmond's life than meets the eye.
Really?
By the way, come around to my house tomorrow evening. I've got a little party on.
I'm on duty the next morning, my first day.
Well, then come early. Come in the afternoon. We'll all be swimming.
Well, as long as I get away in good time.
And no excuses.
Do excuse me, Mr. Calder, but I have someone I'd like Mr. Stewart to meet.
By all means. Till tomorrow?
Yes, indeed. Thanks so much.
My dear Terence, so glad you came.
You certainly do yourselves very well out here.
Life is what you make it. You must not make the mistake of believing everything you hear about us. One moment, everybody. I want to introduce you to a new friend of ours, Terence Stewart. He's an important British diplomat, so be careful. Ira.
What's the lady's name?
Ira. She's great fun.
Oh, really?
She wants to know who is my handsome friend.
Are you sure she's not just asking for a drink?
Eh? Perhaps so. You take it to her.
Huh? All right.
He's one of those reserved Englishmen, Ira.
I'm Terry Stewart. And you?
I'm Ira Frankel.
Terry is trying to find out what happened to Desmond.
Oh, dear. Isn't there any news yet?
You knew him then?
Very well. I do hope he'll be all right. Well, aren't you coming in? You look as if you're ready for a day at the office.
I didn't bring any shorts.
I'll find you some.
Very nice. Is this yours?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The water is marvelous.
Splendid.
Come on.
There we are. Ah, too big. You are tall, but your waist is small. That's more like it.
Yes, where do I change?
Here.
Meet outside?
Milos was right. You Englishman.
Have you known many Englishmen?
Oh, friends of Milos?
Desmond used to come here?
Yes. He was full of life.
Was?
I didn't mean it that way. He must come back.
Were you very fond of him? His wife's very nice. You met her?
You know, it's funny. Every time I turn my back, my glass is empty.
Ira, go and talk to Terence.
But he's so dull, so English.
Go.
Here, my street, I heard that. So dull, so English, that I have my moments.
My favorite dull Englishman.
Didn't you know that there was a gypsy trying to break out of every English diplomat?
Come, a toast to the gypsy.
It's on drink.
Terence, you're a long way from the embassy. The ambassador is in bed by now. You're among friends. Na zdravičko.
Sure.
Feeling better, Mr. Stewart? You had a good time.
How long have I been here?
Minutes? Hours? How long do you think?
Who are you?
I'll ask the questions, Mr. Stewart. Can I get you something for your head? You'll find everything there except the keys for the car. You were very fortunate not to be injured. A miracle. I must ask you to remain, Mr. Stewart. You were very drunk.
You have no right to hold me here.
We are not holding you, Mr. Stewart. We are just inquiring.
Then I shall have to assert my diplomatic privilege.
Shall I call your ambassador for you? Don't you remember the car?
What car?
Your car. You have been responsible for a road accident that seriously injured a pedestrian.
You're out of your mind. I wasn't driving.
You were alone in the car. We have a witness.
One of your men.
The pedestrian is on the danger list.
Where is he?
In hospital.
I'd like to see him.
But first, I must ask you for a statement.
Terence, I've just heard. This is terrible.
Tell him I didn't have much to drink.
Now, don't worry. We're all with you.
You know what he's trying to say?
Perhaps your friends will be kind enough to leave, and then I can have your statement.
Mr. Stewart has nothing to say yet.
Mr. Stewart cannot leave until I have his statement.
Terence, if anyone can help you, it's Milos.
Do you see me drive away?
We tried to stop you, but
Why did you try to stop him?
because he had forgotten something.
What was it you forgot?
Don't answer him.
Prosím vás, řeknete inspektorovi, aby ihned propustil pana Stuarta. Pan Stuart, on je z britského vyslanectví. Děkuji vám. Váš šéf.